Wait, that's not the hole. That is just forcibly. Okay, wrong hole. Take 2. Hi, welcome to Literary Lushes with your hosts Sam and Megan.
Hey guys.
Today we are discussing the book The Dogs of Christmas by Bruce Cameron.
Indeed.
It's also our Christmas episode and Hanukkah episode.
Merry Christmas Kwanzaa.
Is that how you say that?
Sure.
Okay. Our drink video, which we recorded, the drink was spiked hot chocolate.
So creamy.
I enjoyed it a lot, and
you guys did it!
Yay!
So
that was kind of random.
We recorded our drink video with the spiked hot chocolate.
Yes.
It was creamy. Very creamy.
It was delicious. I loved it.
Our helper elves, our men folk, were in it. And then immediately after that, we did our gift exchange video, which if you're a Patreon subscriber, you can watch. And Megan and I bought each other gifts and we exchanged them. Our men folk were our handy elves.
Yes, they were. They were adorable.
They were adorable. We all wore Christmas sweaters. It was really cute.
I loved it.
And in the video, one of the gifts that Megan got me, which will probably appear in a future episode, let's be real.
Yeah. It wouldn't open.
Yeah, it wouldn't open. So the boys used physics to get it open, and Ray, Megan's husband, just popped in to show us that they were able to figure it out.
Yep.
So yay.
And I will take a teeny tiny.
Do you want a teeny tiny off the top now or off the bottom?
I'll do the top.
Okay.
I like to be on top. So even though I was a little tipsy from the Baileys that was in the drink, sounds like I still am. Sam is definitely sober. So we have this vodka shot in our wonderful Literary Lushes original fan shot glass, which you can get on Zazzle, our store.
It's super cute. And to clarify, it is literally a shot of vodka.
It's a huge shot of vodka.
Ray's a heavy pourer. You trained him well.
So I wasn't originally going to take a shot of this, but he was telling me that it's some kind of like...
It's Icelandic vodka, Rika.
Something. And it's like from the spring.
It's so good.
Oh, you've already had it?
Mm-hmm.
Tonight?
No, we have a bottle at home.
I was like, when the hell did you do that?
When you weren't looking, obviously.
Okay. My God, it smells like rubbing alcohol.
I mean, it's vodka.
Okay, so I'm going to do a little sip.
Okay.
Very little. Because I'm already tipsy.
Okay.
And we don't want this to be like
last episode.
Oh my God, I was a mess. See what happens when we record in my house? I'm like, I ain't got to worry about driving. But you brought a DD.
I did. I brought a DD. He's very responsible.
Your elf. DD. Mm-hmm. Is he going to wear the elf ears?
He's a very tall elf.
Both of them were.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so here I go. God, 8 shots. Okay.
You're not taking a shot. You're taking a sip. Ray, she took my shot.
I almost knocked that on you like a cat.
All right.
It actually is not the worst vodka shot I've ever done.
The only thing I have to chase it with if I need anything is water. So
you can have some whipped cream.
I am an adult. It burns. Good. Okay.
Well, on that note, let's get back to the book.
We lasted about 30 seconds before we got derailed. So.
This is going great.
We're talking about The Dogs of Christmas by Bruce Cameron, not Bruce Campbell. And so we're doing a new thing where we're going to do a quick synopsis, and I use the term quick loosely, of the book, so that if you're a slack ass like us and you sometimes don't read the book, you could still know what it's about and then know what the fuck we're talking about. If you've read the book, feel free to fast forward, but you might miss some gold. So, we're pretty fucking witty. So this book is about dogs. And so this guy, he's a little socially awkward. He lives in the middle of nowhere, Colorado.
Yeah, up in the mountains in the middle of BFE.
He gets a pregnant dog dumped on him
from his neighbor Ryan, who's a jackass.
The dog's pregnant, gives birth. The dog was malnutritioned during her pregnancy, so all the puppies die.
Yeah.
He comes back from the vet with the dog and
with
Lucy, and finds a litter of puppies
in the box in the back of his truck
in the
during a
winter.
blizzard.
The puppies survive.
Yes.
And Lucy, because
foster mom.
Yep, because her litter just had died, takes care of them. And the guy, Josh, calls the local shelter and is like, what do I do? I have all these dogs. And meets this woman, Carrie, who works at the shelter. And they fall madly, deeply, truly in love.
Yeah, sure.
But Josh is also weirdly hung up with his ex-girlfriend. Amanda. To the point where he has, like, not shrines, but...
Carrie calls it a shrine. But, yeah, it was like... He's got his banister, and he's got pictures of Amanda all over the place, to the point where, like, people are like, oh, how long ago did she die? And he's like, she didn't. She left me for another guy. And
like,
move like, that's dude. Weird. Yeah. Put it in a box, burn it, just let it go.
So this was Megan's pick. So what made you pick this book?
It's been sitting on my shelf for a while.
But didn't you read it once before?
Okay, so fun story. I forgot that I read it. I do this. Okay. I inherited this from my grandmother. She did this all the time. This is why I really got on Goodreads, because I've done this like 5 times where I didn't know I read a book. I actually had a book that I bought 3 times.
Oh, okay.
And I've read it twice.
What book is it?
I don't remember.
Okay. Well, when you read
so
it for the third time,
buy it again.
When you read it for the third time, let me know.
It's so horrible. But I've done that a couple of times. And so I'm like in the middle of this book, and I'm like, this is starting to kind of sound familiar. And I'm pretty sure this one dog's blind. And sure enough, it gets to the part where it's blind, and I'm like, and I'm pretty sure these 2 end up not getting adopted, and he ends up keeping those 2. Like, I couldn't remember every detail, so it was good that I reread it, because there was like, I wouldn't have been able to fill in the blanks at all. So it was a good read. I liked it. It was definitely heartwarming. It was a little different than anything we've done. I
typically steer away from any emotional reads. Just personally, like, I don't like romance. I don't like the tearjerkers. I don't like even books like this. I did really like The Art of Racing in the Rain.
Haven't seen that. That's on my list, though.
Well, the book is really good too.
Did I just say I haven't seen the movie?
Huh?
Did I just say I haven't seen the movie?
Yeah.
I meant the book. I didn't even know there was a movie. Well, I haven't seen the movie apparently either. I didn't even know there was one.
Yeah, like, I never watched or read Marley and Me, because I was just like, nope.
The movie was, I couldn't watch the movie again. I saw the movie once and I was like, and I'm done.
Well, because you know how most of those books and movies about dogs go. You fall in love with the dog, and then the dog dies at the end. And Loki is snoring. I could, like, feel it.
Yeah, he does that. It's adorable.
Can you guys hear it?
I can totally hear it. Oh. That was adorable.
Oh.
And now I have that on recording. Thank you. How did you come about your pups?
Both of them are rescue. Kale. I got, and it's Cael, not Kale, like the vegetable. I rescued him. His litter was found abandoned in the Everglades.
Aw.
Mm-hmm.
That's sad.
I guess they found them abandoned loosely. Apparently they found the mother, but she was dead. Aww. So I don't know if they were like I don't know if the mother like was dumped and gave birth and died. I don't know the circumstances, but the litter was found in the Everglades, like itty bitty. And so I rescued him when he was like a little itty bitty puppy, like 8 weeks old. And he's so cute. And then Mike and I rescued Rex from Big Dog Ranch Rescue, which is a great rescue. Mike was like, well, you pick Kale, even though I rescued Kale before we started dating. He's like, so I get to pick the next dog. And I'm like, okay, fair, but I get vetoing rights. And he picked Rex. And I remember being like, okay, he seems cool, like laid back dude. And I had to work when we picked him up from the rescue. So Mike brought Kale to do the meet and greet to make sure they didn't want to rip each other apart. They passed. Then he went back to pick Rex up, and I had to work. And man, you could never make that up. Like, he loves Mike so much. And he loves me too. But
there's a difference.
There is a marked difference. And when Mike's around, he gives me like dirty looks. He ignores me. He'll like lay on my side of the bed and growl if I try to get in bed with him and Mike. It's like ridiculous. But then like if it's just me and him,
he's like, oh, okay, I like you.
Besties. Yeah, he's such a schmuck, but I love him anyway. But I remember being like, oh no, like what kind of dog do we get? Because you have to do all the paperwork. So you're like, oh, we're taking Rex, and like 2 weeks go by. In that period, he got into, I guess, a little tiff with another dog. So when we took him home, he had staples in his eyebrows.
Oh my god!
And
she looked like a gangster dog.
He's a Roddy mix, so he has the eyebrow markings, and he legit had like an eyebrow ring.
Aww.
And I'm like, did we make a bad choice? No, but he's a great dog. He's like a grumpy old man. He snores too. He drools. He has some sexy neck rolls.
Don't we all?
Yeah. I love my little schmucks. They're cute. They keep me company. What about Loki and Pepper?
Ray had Loki before I met him. He got him because his roommates had him, and they didn't really take them much good care of him. And Loki was outside with Ray one day, and he got loose and got hit by a truck. And Ray took him to the vet and paid for everything, even though at that point it wasn't even his dog.
And his name was Loki originally to begin with? Okay.
Yeah. And they went ahead and, when I met him, I'm like, what the fuck is Loki? What does that mean? Is it like low, like L-O-W,
like
and then K-E-Y? No idea. It was like God of Mischief. Totally fits him though. And he was a good dog. And then when I met him, I stayed the night, and Ray kicked him out of the bedroom. And that was the only time he's ever chewed anything on mine. And he chewed my boots back in the heels. And you can tell, like, because he only chewed enough of the heels, like back where my heel is, not the heel of the shoe. He chewed it definitely to be like,
fuck you.
Yeah, bitch, this is my home. But ever since then, he hasn't chewed anything, and we never kicked him out of the room ever again anyways. Super good boy. And then after a while, I was like, we should get him a second dog. And so my grandma and I, like, I'd been following like this page that tries to adopt dogs out of Sebring before they get euthanized. And there's this little puppy, was 9 months old. And they were like, listen, she's been here for 6 months. After this, they're going to have to euthanize her because she's been here for too long. And I was like, oh, she's so cute. She looks like Loki. And the reason why we were waiting, because we wanted a dog that looked very similar to Loki and had the same temperament. That was the same. Because Loki's super easy. Like, we don't ever have to bathe him. Like, we have to get his nails cut every now and then. But, like, that's it. I mean, we still bathe him, but it's not like...
He doesn't like rolling shit.
Yeah. And he doesn't smell bad. You know, like some dogs, like, you'll bathe them, and like 2 days later you have to bathe them again because they stink. But no. So I saw this dog, and I was like, I'm going to surprise Ray. So Ray didn't even know. He knew we had been talking about getting a second dog, so it wasn't like... Sure. Yeah, we've been talking about it. And then, so I remember I was taking care of my grandmother at the time, and my mom was leaving for work, and she's like, what are you two up today? I'm like, it's a surprise. And she's like, oh, okay. And my grandma's like, what are we doing? And I'm like, we're going to go to Sebring, which, for those who don't know, it's like a 2-hour one-way trip. Ish. It's pretty west.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of. I was like, we're going to go to Sebring and adopt a dog. She's like, okay. And then so we went out there, and I looked at this dog, and she was a sad little pathetic little thing. super tiny, super sad. And they have them in, because it was at the animal control center. And so they have them in outdoor cages with no shelter, like no covering really. And it's like the middle of summer. So things are like storming and like super scary and sad. And it's these metal chains. And so like this girl, they bring her out and then she's shaking. And I'm like, I'm going to get her. I've got to save this little one. And so I think they were like a day away from euthanizing her. And I was like, nah, $20 paid for her. And I was like, there you go. And the $20 pretty much just covered for her to get spayed.
There you go.
And so my grandma and I drove back. You don't get to keep them right away because they spay them first. So I think it was like a 5-day wait. And so we went home, went to the dog store, got a collar, put it in a bag, surprised Ray, like, look, and I put a sign over to Loki that says, I want to be a big brother. And Ray was like, what? And I'm like, no, not pregnant. Not pregnant. Don't worry. It's okay. He's like, wait, what? And I go, just open the bag.
Open the damn bag, Ray.
And it was a collar. And he's like, are we getting another dog? Like and I'm like, yeah. And he's like, are you serious? I'm like, yeah, we get her Tuesday. And he's like, do you have a picture? I was like, yeah. And then so he's a little skeptical at first, but he went down with me and then he got real excited. And he was like, oh my God, we're getting a dog. The reason why, in case all of you are like, what a bitch for going out without telling him, Ray, we tried once going into a humane society. Ray left crying because he couldn't take all the dogs.
Oh yeah, you want to take them all home.
So this was my way of doing it without him having to suffer. So yeah, as being a good person. And then so I went and got her. I'm the one who was trying to nurse her back to health. I'm the one who stayed with her all day. I had her come over to my grandmother's house, nursed her back to health. Then she had like 9 different ticks on her and we had to take all those off and I had to get her all fixed and whatever. Loves Ray more than me. And I swear she's trying to, her and I like compete against for Ray's attention. And so sometimes she'll lay up in bed and put her head on the pillow and they'll snuggle and I'm like, what the hell?
Yep.
And then I'll be sitting there and she'll come and sit in between us. I mean, she still loves me. She's my napping buddy. Like if you ever see pictures, her and I are just napping together, but definitely all about Ray. Loki's all about Ray. And I'm like, I hope this dang third dog loves me more than Ray because I am over this.
Kale loves me. He's like my dog. Do you know what I mean? Like he loves Mike. But
they both love Ray. Like if we did that Air Bud thing where you're like on the other side and you're like, come here, come here. They both would go to Ray. But I think that's because every like 20 minutes he's giving them a TRAT. And yes, I have to spell because Loki's in the room. And
well, just start buying their love with food.
Yeah, but they can't. That's not healthy for them, and I don't want that to. I did buy them Christmas cookies.
There you go.
And we made some sweet potato treats for them. Oh, I said the word. Oh, he's sleeping. He didn't hear it. Good.
So speaking about the shelter in the book, there's the one scene in the book with Carrie, where when Josh calls us, like, I have these puppies, and she's like, just drown them.
Well, she's like, why don't you just go ahead and drown them? Because he's like, these puppies were brand new, like brand new,
so
and poor Josh, he'd never dealt with dogs before, had no idea what to do, and so he was worried that Lucy was going to eat them.
Which I would be fucking horrified if I like woke up one morning to find out that my dog had eaten a litter of puppies.
Because they weren't hers. Like he was scared that because it wasn't hers, she would be like, what are these doing here? So he had no idea. So he called the shelter and he's like, I'm gonna need you to take these puppies off my hands. He's like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm scared the dog that I'm dog sitting is gonna eat them. But before he even said that, he was just like, I need you to take these dogs. And she's like, why don't you go ahead and drown them while you're at it? Because she's like, if they get here, we're going to have to put them down because that's 5 dogs that we would have to hand feed around the clock. And we just don't have that kind of.
Which is like.
But I'm assuming.
If that is your job to euthanize dogs.
I'm assuming because it was like a up north small town. Like they didn't have the.
Well, I'm just talking about in general.
Oh, yeah. That's just horrible. I couldn't do it. But then he was like, no. He's like, what are you talking about? And she said that, and he goes, oh no, I don't want them to die. Actually, I'm just concerned for their safety. And then when he explained it, she's like, oh, I thought you were just a jerk who was trying to unload your problem. He's like, no, I thought
you were a jerk, so I'm going to recommend that you fucking drown them.
I don't think she was recommending drowning them. I think she was just being like, well, why don't you just go ahead and do this while you're at it? Kind of like,
I mean, if anybody who's listening
Don't drown
works
your
at a
puppies.
shelter or knows somebody who does, I would love to know. I just couldn't do it. I mean, we had a neighbor when we lived in our old neighborhood. She worked at animal control, and she would bring, I guess, animals home a lot. So they had like a pet raccoon and
Oh,
stuff because it was a pet that somebody had, and you're not allowed to, obviously, to have raccoons as a
no.
pet. So they took it to animal control, and I guess it was going to be like euthanized because they couldn't put it
It
back in
couldn't
the
live on its
wild.
own.
And so she was able to like take it home, I guess, because she's an employee of animal control.
Huh.
Something weird where it was like allowed. But yeah, and then she would like take dogs home to try to help find homes so that they wouldn't have to be euthanized and stuff like that. Like that would be me. I'd be like, yep, I'm just gonna adopt every single dog that comes through.
That's why I
Fine.
could never work in a place like that or volunteer because I'd be a mess. And then I'd be like, I mean, for the people who can do stuff like that, I mean, not necessarily like putting down dogs all the time. I mean, I understand that there's a reasoning for it, but it's just you got to be really strong. And then there was like the show that I was telling you about, Pick of the Litter. Like even Ray and I were like, I couldn't do that. I couldn't grow a puppy for 18 months and then turn around and give the puppy up. Like what? No.
We for one of the hurricanes fostered a pup
Really?
for one of the storms because Big Dog Ranch Rescue, you guys need to look them up. They're an awesome, awesome, awesome rescue. Their grounds are amazing. Like, I would love to live there. And at the time, they were still building their new facility.
Mm-hmm.
So they had a lot of dogs in temporary housing just because their current grounds weren't big enough. So they needed a lot of fosters for when the hurricanes came through because some of the buildings were not hurricane resistant.
Right.
So, like, we volunteered and we were like, hey, we need like a female puppy because Rex can kind of be weird with male dogs.
Right. That's the whole dominant
But
thing.
except he's fine with Kale, but whatever. And then we were like, oh, younger, because if the dog is older and a little bit grumpy and Rex is older and grumpy, they might butt heads.
Right.
So we picked her up from like a barn. Like people who owned a farm had like allowed their barn and their stables to be used as like
Aww.
dog shelter. Yeah. And she was this like cute little mutt with like this like snout that looked like way too big for her face. She was like absolutely adorable. But it was so heartbreaking because she would like get in bed and want to snuggle with us, and Mike and I were like, "Get away!"
Because we want to fall in love with you.
I want to snuggle you, but like, please don't.
Aw. See,
But
I couldn't have done because I would have been like, and we're foster failures.
we had her for like 3 or 4 days. And the day before I was supposed to bring her back, I actually got a call from a prospective adopter. He was like, how is she, whatever. And so she ended up getting adopted shortly after that, which made me feel better. I was like, oh, I want to give you all the love, but then I'm not going to want to give you back.
Yeah, no, I'd been like, you're mine forever.
Yeah, well, and that's why it's like I couldn't, like, I get it with Josh not wanting to give up the puppies. Like, I would be so attached.
I could not imagine having. I told Ray, I was like, I know there's a place, I think out in California, that, because they even mention it in this book, when you have puppies, they encourage you to have people come over so they get used to people.
Right.
And so this place out in California will let you bring in your puppies, and people would pay to come when they're stressed out or want a puppy break.
Oh, yeah.
And they let you play with
puppies.
Yep. And it gets the chances for the puppies to get interactions with people.
Yeah.
And then people get stress relieved from puppies. And sometimes these people end up adopting a puppy or two, which ends up, working.
Working out.
But I was like, that's on my bucket list. It's just to go play with a litter of puppies.
Mm-hmm.
But then I'm like, I'm gonna want them all. And then like Carrie says in the book to Josh, they're cute and tiny now and manageable, but when they start,
then they get cute and big later.
They get cute and big, but then you got to take care of 5 dogs and already your 6th dog who's the mama.
Yeah.
6 large dogs can be
which I I have friends who have like more than 2, and I give them credit
I
because
know someone who has 5.
those 3 or 4 days with the 3 dogs, one more added so much more work. And I mean, maybe if you have smaller dogs, but both of our dogs are lab mixes, so they're like 70 pounds each. So they're bigger dogs.
Well, and you don't have a fenced-in yard.
We do. At the
Oh.
time, we did not.
Yeah, at the time.
And then walking
that makes
them,
a huge difference, I feel like.
Yeah, and then walking them, I have to walk them separately because they're fucking assholes.
Loki and Pepper can walk together. So, like, if we got a third, when I'm better, I can actually, because I can walk Pepper and Loki by myself. But if Ray's there, we could definitely add a third.
Well, that's the thing too, is then even if you like, because Rex and Kale, it's not that they butt heads when they walk together. They just like to, I don't know, they think they're king of the fucking neighborhood, and they like to lunge at every car, biker, walker, whatever. So I can physically only corral one at a time. So I need to walk one at a time because odds are you're going to see another living being while you're walking. And so I need to keep them on a literal short leash. But yeah, even if they could walk together, even if they weren't assholes, then you have a third dog. And it's like, most people probably can't walk 3 dogs at once unless they're tiny.
Right.
Or really, really, really well behaved. And I saw there's this lady who lives a couple neighborhoods down from us, and she walks, I think they're pit mixes. I love pitties. She, I guess, can't be bothered cleaning up their shit. So she carries, it's like a pool net, but it has on the end like a shopping bag. So as they drop a squat to poop,
she sticks it underneath
she just
them.
Sticks it right under. So in one hand, she has her pool net. And then in the other hand, she has the leashes. And no cleanup involved, I guess. Which my dogs would probably be too scared to poop if I stuck them.
Yeah, if I did that, they'd be like, what? Nope, not doing it. What are you doing?
Them young, the new dog, you got to do it. Yeah. Every time that he or she goes to poop, just scoop a bag right underneath.
So many things we're going to try with the new dog. We said that with Pepper. We're like, well, when we get her, we're going to get her in training schools and this and that. And she's, I swear, worse than Loki.
I never follow through. I tried to teach, I taught Kale sit, lay down, paw. You think I would have taught him stay? No. And then I tried to teach him roll over, but his little puppy belly, he'd get like stuck halfway and then fall over the same way. So he would only go like on his back and then fall over. And I was just like, you're so cute. Good job. So he never got that
far. When I met Loki, he could just do sit and one paw. What was that? Did you hear that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm going to go.
Aliens.
With Loki, he would do sit and one paw. So I got him to do the other paw. Oh, maybe it's Loki. Is he making noises?
No, I moved my foot and then he moved his face. And so now I have to reposition my foot so it's not like on his face.
Yeah. And then when I got Pepper, because she has those allergy problems, and so she's allergic to the cats, and her neighbor has like 8 outdoor cats. So of course her belly's like full of redness. And so she learned show me your belly, which is the most adorable thing. So we'll go show me your belly because we have to put the cream stuff on her belly.
She's a hoe.
Yeah, because we have to put the cream on her belly. And so she knows that once that happens, as soon as she's done, she gets a TRAT. And so I think that's how she learned it. So we'll be like, show me your belly. And she'll get so excited. She'll roll over and just show you her belly. And so when we take her to the specialist, yes, we take her to a specialist in West Palm. Her doctor just loves her because she's like, we talk about her to everybody because it's the most fun. Because the way she sits in my lap in the bed, because I'll sit on the floor and she'll sit in my lap, just like, and like laying on me, her back onto my belly, and just sitting up like a real person. It's the funniest thing.
Aww.
And then I'll be like, okay, they want to see her belly. Show them your belly. And she'll lay down and they're like, oh my God, this is the most well-behaved dog I've ever seen. And I'm like, you don't see her at home. She's not always like this.
Kale knows where's the bug. He loves to hunt and catch bugs.
Oh, that's cool.
Mm-hmm. So he gets really excited if you go, oh, Kale, there's a bug. He's like, what? And then you go, look, there it is. And he like charges and he goes absolutely ballistic trying to get it. But sometimes it's right in front of his face and he doesn't realize it. But it's funny because we live in Florida and we have palmetto bugs all the fucking time. In our garage, the sealant strip on the bottom, the last like inch is broken, and we rent, so we're like, we're not gonna fix
No.
that. So little critters like little lizards and stuff will come in, and we'll find them in the garage, and you know they come and go, whatever. And so palmetto bugs get in through that little crack, also, of course. So then you walk into the garage, you flip the light on, and what do you see? You see the palmetto bug skitter. And it doesn't happen all the time.
If you've never lived in Florida and you saw these, you would swear they're cockroaches.
Mm-hmm.
But they're not, because they're much bigger and they're not as disgusting. They're just...
Okay, speak for yourself. They're fucking horrifying.
But they're not as disgusting as cockroaches. Like, if I saw palmetto, I'm not as grossed out. Yes, I hate both, but I'm not as grossed out. Like, I don't feel dirty.
Yeah, no. They're not a sign of filth.
Dirty, yeah.
They're just...
It's Florida.
Yeah. I always have to explain to people, I'm like, no, they're not roaches. Because, you know, you see them in hotel rooms. You see them, like, walking out in the street.
Right.
They're just gross Florida wildlife. And they come into the garage. And so sometimes I turn the light on, and you see one skitter. And without fail, I always scream bloody murder at the top of my lungs. Without fail. And Kale knows that if I scream bloody murder when going into the garage, there's bugs. And he comes charging out, runs in the garage, and then he does his like peacock bark where he's like, he's like, where is it? I'm ready. And then he like dives at it.
Oh, that's funny.
If he can get to it before me and might corral him back. But yeah, he is my bug killer.
That's too funny.
Dogs are the best. So now, guys, we're going to do our Conscious Corner. And in honor of the holidays and the book choice, we figured we'd keep it animal-centric. So we are big proponents of adopt, don't shop.
There are exceptions to that. If you are super allergic, I have a friend who has to get golden doodles because she's...
But sometimes you could find them at shelters and stuff, if you're lucky.
If you're lucky. She was having a hard time, and so she did have to. But she said otherwise, she's like, I would just be adopting out of everywhere if I could.
And do your research, because there are specific rescues
that will
for specific breeds.
Yes.
Like I follow a husky only.
Yep. My sister got one of her huskies from a rescue.
And they have cat rescues. They have every animal you could possibly imagine. Like there's like goat rescues.
Yeah. There's like
horse rescues.
Yeah.
So no matter what your animal of choice is, we highly recommend adopting an animal and improving their life, because they will definitely improve yours. Yes. As opposed to going out and
spay and neuter your critters.
Yes, like Bob Barker would say, spay and neuter, because there's plenty of animals that need homes.
Cut them balls off.
Yeah, snip, snip, bitch. And also on that note, if you did get a family member of yours any sort of pet for Christmas or Hanukkah, birthday, whatever it is, be committed to it. Don't buy it as a gift. Change your mind. And then dump it on the side of the road or give it to a shelter. If for whatever reason you truly can't keep your pet, don't give it to a kill shelter. Give it to a local rescue.
Yeah.
Know what you're getting into.
Yeah.
They're part of your family.
Do your research on the dogs. Some dogs are lazy. Some dogs are super hyper.
Right. Don't get a Great Dane if you want to take it as a running buddy.
Yeah. Or if you have a small apartment.
Yeah, don't get a husky if you're going to be lazy, because they have a lot of
Oh my god, my sister has huskies, and they're escape artists, and they get into everything.
We almost rescued a husky, but
we almost rescued a border collie, and we were like, thank god we didn't do that, because they got our dogs are so lazy, they'll sleep in, and we have to wake them up to take them out in the morning.
I think Kale is part lab, but I think he's also part border collie. Oof. Because he has that narrower snout, and he's floofy, and he likes to herd and protect. When we take him to the beach and stuff, if there's kids swimming, he'll jump in the water and kind of circle them to make sure they're okay.
That's adorable.
But he's hyper as shit. It'll be midnight, and we'll be the dogs know, we'll be okay, it's bedtime, come on.
Yeah.
And they jump off the couch and they go in the bedroom with us, and then we'll get in bed. And then Kale will jump on the bed with his toy and be okay, let's play. And I'm oh my god, no.
Yeah, mine are lazy as shit. It's awesome. As you can see, the snoring one was just kind of like
That's Rex. Rex and Loki
chilling.
would get along great.
They just like to sleep all the time.
So this is our last episode for 2020.
Whoop, whoop. I mean, or 2019.
2019. This is our last episode for 2019. If anybody's still listening, hello? Is anybody there? Anyway. We are putting together media kits to send out to potential guests for 2020. We're really excited.
Mm-hmm.
We're also looking for people to be on our ass segment,
Yes.
author spotlight segment.
Yes.
Jason Gwynn was our first, and we think he had a really good time.
Yeah.
But if you are an author, a fledgling author, or if you know of anybody who would be interested, please let us know. You can email us at literaryleshespodcast@gmail.com. We are on Instagram. We are on Twitter. We are on Facebook. So reach out to us if you would like to be on the show. We're also into doing... Sorry, that sounded weird. We're also...
That was Pepper.
Oh, okay.
You heard the squeaky dog toy.
Yeah. We're also doing some podcast host swapping of sorts. So Megan and I both appeared on episodes of Out of the Blank podcast.
Yes.
You can find him on Instagram, and we're working with him to get a date secured for him to come on our show. So if anybody has a podcast that they would like to do a little swap, let us know. We'd be interested in doing that.
We are thinking of switching to one main type of genre, which is the
Sci-fi fantasy.
Sci-fi fantasy, because we notice that tends to be where we have the most listeners.
And we like reading those books too.
We do. And yeah, so we'll let you know what our next book list is, but definitely for the next book is The Great Gatsby 2020. And you'll definitely want to tune in for that drink video because we're wearing costumes.
Yeah, we're ringing in the 20s like the flappers that we are.
Woohoo!
Whoop, whoop.
So it'll be very exciting. So,
and that episode will go up on January 9th, 2020, so just in time for the new year. A couple more quick announcements. So in addition to Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, and Podbean, we are now on iHeartRadio.
Woohoo! We love you, iHeartRadio.
And we are also now on Stitcher.
Stitcher.
Woo! We're so official.
I'm so excited. And we have a store now, which you can find. We have the link.
Through Zazzle.
Yes. And still working on the website now that I'm have 2 weeks off from work. I definitely should have that up before.
And
our 2020 episode.
Yay! And our Patreon, our sign-up incentive is still going on. It actually ends on January 6th, 2020, which will be right before the new episode goes up. So for all new Patreon subscribers who sign up before that date, in addition to all of your sweet, sweet swag and stuff that you get for your whatever level you sign up for, every donator will receive a button, a bookmark, and a magnetic bottle opener with limited edition artwork for being an original fan.
On all three of those.
And yes, on all three of those. And again, in addition to everything else that you get with your membership level, we actually shot a little promo to show off the freebie, and that'll be going up on our YouTube. We hit a little snafu with the bookmarks, so tune in and
it's great. It's a great laugh.
Yeah, it's a good chuckle. So check that out. Check out our drink video. You will see that we still need a lot of help. So please consider donating. And we're working on putting a lot of extra stuff on Patreons for our supporters. We did our gift exchange video. I recently converted my patio into a home gym. So we're going to do a Lushes workout video that we're going to record and post at some point. And we're going to continue doing some Patreon only videos and perks and stuff like that because we love you guys.
Yes. And then just make sure you're commenting on our stuff on social media.
Like, comment, share, post. Please rate us, especially on iTunes and Spotify. It helps us climb up the rankings and become more visible. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your coworkers. We're usually suitable for work.
No.
Okay. Well, we're not rated explicit, so.
This is true.
Yeah. Yet. Challenge accepted. Yeah, so we have
I'm
a lot
excited
of
for
good
2020.
stuff. Yeah, we're excited for 2020. We're going to try to get some really fun guests lined up for you guys. We know we started off strong with the guests, then we hit kind of a snag. The holidays were busy.
Yeah. And then things happen with me, health stuff, but I'm doing better.
Mm-hmm.
And we do plan on getting a little more tipsier
Mm-hmm.
in 2020 with the podcast because we've heard that that was more fun.
I mean, it's more fun for me.
Yeah, me too. So
We have a lot of funny t-shirts coming your way.
yes. Yeah.
When we see you guys next year. Like that cheesy dad joke, see you next year.
Oh, good Lord.
Stay lively with your libations.